Hey guys, you're watching Simon and Only. My name is AJ, and we are back on another episode of Let's Build a City, episode 56, if I am correct. Today is a little bit of a different layout. Usually we do it live and we build together, but this time I wanted to try something a little bit different. And tell me what you guys think. I've done this build. This build was originally at full length about 2 hours long. It's about a 2 hour long build. And the reason why I sped it up is because I didn't really know where I was heading with the building. It was just a spur of the moment build. I had a bit of an idea in my head. I've seen some pictures of some houses like this, not only in Minecraft but in real life itself, and I thought it'd be a cool idea to try and replicate it. But I wasn't commentating at the time, I was just building it, but I was recording it, as you can tell, as you're watching it now, and I thought it'd be a good idea just to commentate over it. Originally it was just going to be a build in the world that I wasn't really going to I was going to show you at a later date, but not worry about a video. But I thought it ended up being good enough to actually show you. So we're going to go through this. I'm going to sort of try and commentate on what I'm doing at the time. And it's really interesting because you get to see the mistakes I make. And usually when we build a house, you don't actually see any of the mistakes. I either cut the mistakes out or I make the mistakes off camera. And then we're on camera. Any mistakes I do make, I fix there and then. So, like, for example, this part here, we're doing the sort of archways for this pillared section. And I end up changing this 2 or 3 times, I think, to try and get a style that I really liked. It's a sort of townhouse is what we're going for. And those little quartz bits down the bottom there, it's like a little fence design. Not a fence, but like I don't know, like a concrete banister. All the blocks that we use are actually in our hotbar at the moment, apart from glass and glowstone and stuff that we use later on, but the main building blocks are here. And this is just quartz, brick and cobblestone in this texture pack. If you don't know, I get a lot of people ask this question. The texture pack that I use on this world is the natural texture pack. A lot of people do ask what I have, so yeah, that's what that is. So as you can see here, I'm trying to figure out, I didn't quite like how the bricks were laying on top, so we're doing a bit of a change here. I'm using quartz on the top instead to give a bit of a white lip almost around the entire place. It's really cool how the building sort of evolves from a small idea and makes itself into something that I think turns out looking okay. Okay, so we'll add some bits here. I'm lowering it down, getting a bit more of an arch, putting some stairs at the bottom there instead of the quartz slabs that we had before. And I've got a window design there as well. I didn't talk about the window, I missed talking about the window. But the window design, I replicate throughout the whole building. They're different sizes. Some of them are 4 blocks wide by 5 blocks tall. No, 6 blocks tall, 4 by 6. Some are 3 by 3, some are 4 by 3, some are, I think, 8 by 4 or something. But they're all the same style, and they're using quartz stairs at the bottom, quartz stairs up the side, and then quartz stairs along the top, and it gives a really cool shaped design. At the front here, this is going to be 2 windows that are in line with the banister, but the part to the right of that, the sort of third section of it, is actually going to be a slanted roof, which you'll see coming on later on. So I'm just choosing the oops, I hit my microphone, sorry guys. I'm just choosing the roof material there, and I decided to go again with the cobblestone as we're using that on the ground floor as well. This is where the slanted roof part is, just above where the door will end up being. And I'm just getting a height here so I know exactly where I can build the second window, because if I built the second window too low, I wouldn't be able to do the window on the second floor, or the first floor on the side that we're looking at now. So you have to sort of slowly work your way around when doing any type of house. You can't build one side completely and then start on another side and try and do that completely and go from there. You have to build slight bits by bits and see how it ends up. I always usually build 2 walls at a time, so as you can see I'm building the front and the right, and I haven't really touched the left side or the reverse side at the moment. Those 2 sides usually are the least important to me. I usually look at a building from the lower right hand side and I look up to the building, so that's sort of the angle that I'm most used to looking to, so that's the part that I concentrate on most. So I've got a banister coming out the front here, and again this is our same window design with the quartz stairs. As you can see, it's starting to get on. It's actually 3 stories on that right hand side of the building there, and there is a third window that I'm building up here as well, but the majority of the place would be the ground floor and the first floor, and then there's like a second floor which is right at the top of the building here. So this is going to be a peak part. You can start to see what the front of the house will end up looking like. But I think these 2 blocks, these brick and the quartz blocks together, give a really, really nice effect. So now I've got these 2 walls in, I can now start concentrating on the rest of the house. And as you can see, I always put in these little quartz parts at the side, and that's the first thing I do. Because once you've got the quartz ends in, you can then add the little sort of quartzy brick style, those bits that I'm doing there. I don't know what you'd really call them, but I've done a similar thing on the school that I'm doing as well. And I put the bricks up the side and then put a straight line of bricks up. And I do that on both sides. Whenever I can possibly do it, I do it on both sides. And then I know whatever is in the middle there, I can put what I want. I can put a window in there, I can put a door in there, or anything like that. So I'm just trying to work out, I wanted another banister on the back here, so I decided to extend that part out by 1 block, and then I have to move that wall out. It's a little bit tricky. Talking about the school, by the way, I will be going back to the school. I haven't abandoned the school or left the school. I have finished off the canteen though, which I'll show you next episode probably. I've decided to do sort of, well, I'm planning to do 1 episode here, or 1 episode like in the city, and then 1 episode at the school until the school is built. Because the school is going to be an absolutely massive project, and I don't want to just constantly keep doing the school. A lot of you, or in fact the majority of you, 99% of you, are actually really, really enjoying the school and want to see more of it. But I can't, you know, myself, I can't work on a single build for that long. You know, I have to sort of split it up, keep my inspiration flowing so I don't get burnt out. That's the last thing you want to do when building a massive project like a whole city, is you don't want to burn yourself out. Okay, so I've got the banister in here, and as you can see, like I mentioned earlier, I've done both sides of the quartz, and then the bricks beside it, like what I've done there, and then put the window in the middle. It's very important to do. If you don't do that, the windows can be off-center, or they won't actually match the whole building. So it's always good just to take a little break now and again. I've decided to move this wall out. I took a little break there and just stopped for a second and had to think about what I wanted to do next and what didn't quite look right. And I knew something wasn't quite right, so I decided to take that wall out and move that whole wall towards the cathedral way, so it gives us a little bit more room inside the building. Now, I don't think that this building would actually be that useful to have in survival, because on the inside, it's actually quite thin. As you can see on the inside, it is quite a thin building, and the way that I've done the windows, as you'll see at the end of the episode, how I put the glass in, I have to use full glass blocks. Obviously you can't put panes in there because there's stairs, and obviously they don't fit in between the stairs. So on the inside, the glass actually does take up a lot of room. So it's pretty much, it looks lovely and creative, but it's not a very useful house when it comes to survival. But that's the case with a lot of builds on this world, is that they work in creative, but they wouldn't work quite as well in survival. Some of the houses work really well in survival, some of them don't. So there we go again. I'm putting the quartz blocks on either side, and now I know that in the middle here I can have whatever I want. I can have windows or doors and anything. I decided to put 2 windows in there, and I think I also end up putting a quartz pillar straight up the middle there as well later on. Let me just mute my computer because it's going crazy with Skype. There we go, perfect. Okay, so again, as you can see, it starts to come together very, very quickly. There's the quartz pillar, quartz pillar coming on. It actually gets there really, really quickly after a very slow start. This building started off very, very slow. It was very difficult. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how I really wanted the house to end up looking. I just bashed my knee. But once I sort of got the foundation and the lower halves of the wall, the building actually came together very, very quickly. I don't do any external work like trees and paths and stuff like that on this house yet. I'll leave that to a later date. I just wanted to do the house today. I was just in a bit of a building mood. But at some point we will work out trees and a garden and stuff like that. If I want to put a garden in here, it might not end up needing a garden. Okay, again, quartz parts on the side, and then I fill the bricks up, and then I know that I can put a window in the middle there, however big I want to do it, and the same thing along here as well. Okay, a lot of you actually wanted to see a picture of my school. I'm not going to give you a picture of my school. I don't want you to like end up, you'll be able to work out sort of where I live otherwise, and I'm not quite ready to let people know where I live yet or what school I went to and stuff like that. It's a bit creepy, guys. Don't be creepy. So I can put a really thin window in here, and then I know the front door can go about there, and then I can fill in this top bit. We're actually getting towards sort of the finishing parts of the build now. We've got the roof to do, obviously, and then I put a lot of detail in. I put a lot of quartz parts in here just to really make the building pop, and it's a really important thing to do, and I'll try and remember to sort of talk about that part of it when we get there, but it's a very important thing not to forget. So, making space for the windows now. Again, we're going to put a little balcony on this side, same as what we've done on the front. So I put a little balcony in here. I think I end up doing it. No, I didn't do it right. I don't know if I'd done it on the wrong side first. Okay, so now I'm just thinking. As you can see, I stop every now and again, and on this video, the stops only last sort of 1, 2, or sort of 3 seconds. But in full speed, they actually last up to about a minute, where I just stop and I think, and I evaluate the situation. I see where a window can go, and as you can see, I put that little tiny bit of roof in, so I knew where I could place a window, or if I could place a window in there at all. And now it's time to start putting the roof parts in wherever I can, in little bits. Where are we going now? Oh, it's so quick. Okay, putting some more quartz in here, finishing off this sort of tower part of it. I don't really know what to call it. It's sort of a tower part of it. I don't know what you'd have. Maybe the bedroom would be on the top level there. I'm not quite sure. But yeah, I can't put a window on that side. That window has to be, or that side has to be completely brick, because obviously the roof of the main house is going to connect up quite high on that wall. So I knew that it wasn't going to be possible to get another window in on that side, but we will be able to have a window on the side that I've got a gap currently in. Okay, so adding little bits of roofs here and there. It's actually really difficult to use slabs alone for a roof building block, and it sounds a little bit weird when I say that, but if you've ever tried to build a roof just with slabs, you can end up with quite a few problems, because obviously you can't put blocks behind the slab. Like if it's just half slab, it's fine, and if it's just full block, it's fine. But when you're on the sort of top half of it, you can't mix 2 half slabs together. You can't have like a brick bottom half and a quartz top half. It doesn't work like that. It has to be on 2 separate block areas, which is why I end up using quartz completely at the top here. And it's the only quartz roof part. The rest of it is actually the cobblestone that we use, but I thought a quartz top on there would actually look quite nice. So I'm just trying to work out what height we need the roof to be now to match up the other side, and I've got that in. We have to delete some rows. I'm going to have to delete that row of bricks there so I can get the next row of slabs in. There we go. And it's a matter of slowly building up, and a lot of you struggle. Bloop, I hit my mic again. It's probably one of the most common questions I get asked is, how do I do roofs? How do you do your roofs? And the answer to that is, one is practice. Just practice doing roofs. It'll slowly come to you. I used to struggle an awful lot with doing roofs. As you can see, I put little quartz details in. This is my favourite bit, is when I put quartz details in. But as far as roofs go, it's a matter of slowly building them up, but do it symmetrically. Do 1 line on one side, or 2 lines on one side, and then do 1 or 2 on the other, and slowly build them up together. Because if you go too far, it doesn't end up being at the top of the peak, and then you have to delete them. And if you do them slowly, and you slowly build it up like I am here, as I can see now, I know that I'm going to have stairs for the rest of it, so I can build those up. But if you build them up slowly, you can make changes along the way if things don't quite work, like how I'm doing there, putting the slabs in. You can just change things just along the way, just if they don't quite fit. That cathedral looks beautiful at night. I actually put glowstone and stuff on the inside of the windows towards the end of the episode as well, just to make it pop at night. It's really, really important to me that things look just as good as they do in the daytime while at night time. And by putting glass on the inside, obviously glass is an important thing to do on the builds anyway, that really finishes the building off. But if you put glowstone above the glass, as you'll see me do later on, it really, really does make it look good. Okay, so I've decided to take that quartz centre out and just leave that a full brick wall, and I really like it. I wasn't sure if I liked the window being off centre like that, but the window matched the ground floor window, so I thought I would keep it. So this was the most tricky part of the roof, and I had an idea in my head on how we were going to do it, but it just took a little bit of work, so I decided to put slabs along the top there, and then just slowly wind stairs around, and it was a really good decision. There was a few ways, a few methods that I wanted to try, but as soon as I'd done that one, I was like, yes, that is the one. So we're putting the cobblestone floor down. Now this is like a big sort of balcony area. I don't know what you really call it on the ground level there, but it worked alright. Alright. So doing the detail bit, this is really my favourite bit of building any house now. It's just putting a little bit of dimension to the build. So although the walls have a lot of detail in, they're very, very flat. They're all quartz and bricks, all at the same level. So by putting in windowsills like I am here, and bits above the window, bits to the sides of the windows, bits below the windows. Really, really does make the building come out. As you can see now, look at this building from this shot here. You can see so many different layers. You've got quartz stairs like halfway up the wall there. I'm doing a little bit more around anything under the stone. Look at that, that really does make it pop. We've got like 3 or 4 different dimensions before we even get to the wall. So I put some lights on the balcony here. It looked a little bit dark underneath, so I'm just poking those out. And to save on levers, I use a little bit of redstone, just one piece of redstone, so I can light up all 4 lights with one lever. And now I'm putting the glass on the inside. And this is, from the inside, this is what I was talking about. It looked a little bit weird just having full glass blocks on the, or hiccups on the inside. But it really does work from the outside, and to be honest, that's all we've been interested in on this Let's Build a City series, is the externals. We have done a few internal buildings, you know, the insides of them, but I'm more of an external builder. I prefer building the outside rather than the inside. I do like building insides now and again, and we have done it on quite a few buildings, but the outside is just much more important to me, and that's what people look at more. When people are flying around the world, people are looking at your world, they really look at the outsides. They don't too often go on the inside, but I'm hoping that we're going to be able to fill most of the insides of the buildings at some point. Maybe I should start doing some inside episodes here and there. Okay, so we're getting right towards the end here. I've finished it off. I'm just checking out all the windows. As you can see, it looks beautiful at night, and I'm just having a look in the daytime, filling in some last bits, putting the doors in there to match up with the quartz above it, and some little tiny final touches here. Putting some stairs in here. I can never finish, I can never stop, and that's what you need to try yourself, is once you think a building is finished, try adding some more detail. And there we go, the house is finished, just carouselling around the outside now. I actually enjoyed this commentary style. We won't be doing it every episode like I said, but it was nice to have a little bit of a change. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Tell me what you thought of the video in the comment section below, and we shall see you then. Bye!